In this video, we're going to understand which foods it's best to avoid if you don't want to have pancreas problems. The pancreas is an organ too important not to take care of. On one hand, it has an endocrine function, producing various hormones such as insulin and glucagon, which regulate blood sugar levels. On the other hand, it has an exocrine effect. For a healthy individual without serious illnesses, occasional consumption of these foods is fine. It's the consistency and daily intake that can lead to long-term problems. So it's essential for you to know exactly which foods are harmful to the pancreas to gauge whether you are overindulging. However, let's make a clear point that can help dispel any doubts. The primary issue that can lead to pancreas disorders is being overweight, especially excess visceral fat. Visceral fat accumulates around the pancreas and liver, impairing their function. You might be a lean person who eats sparingly without visceral fat and has consumed these foods throughout life, living up to 100 years. That can be acceptable. On the other hand, we know that those who prefer to prevent rather than cure, those who are interested in knowing to make informed choices, should consider subscribing to this channel and giving it a thumbs up to be part of this community that seeks better healthcare, a more effective healthcare system, and all the necessary information to stay healthy without resorting to medication. The first food I want to talk about, and I'm convinced that many nutritionists and doctors would agree with me, is fried food. Fried food can turn a healthy food, such as vegetables, into something truly harmful. What happens when we consume fried foods, perhaps even breaded with batter or breadcrumbs, and add refined sugars that lead to spikes in blood sugar levels, which harm our bodies? The second food I want to discuss is all those foods containing refined flours, where the outer parts, fibers, minerals, and vitamins are removed, leaving only this white substance. It's now widely used in the food industry. If you regularly consume white bread, crackers, pizzas, or any derivatives of type 00 flour, you don't need to eliminate them immediately or be drastic. However, by gradually choosing whole grain products or complete alternative grains like spelt, barley, or oats, your diet can slowly change for better health. The third type of food to eliminate, reduce, or replace with a healthier alternative is chocolate candies, typically rich in sugar and sometimes with added milk. These chocolates often contain high levels of saturated fats. It's much better to replace them with dark chocolate, preferably 100% or at least 80 to 90%, where there is still a percentage of saturated fat, but it's better regulated and managed by the body. The fourth type of food, at times controversial but increasingly scrutinized for its impact on health, is milk. We all know that milk is produced by cows to nourish their offspring. The sugar in milk is easily broken down and assimilated by your body. While milk has always been a part of the daily breakfast routine for many people, it might be worth considering a reduction or complete elimination of this food. However, it's essential to note that it's not reasonable to expect populations like primitive African communities to completely remove milk from their diets after 3 years or after weaning. This notion has been perpetuated by some American media outlets to continue selling a product. The fifth food item to eliminate or reduce, which you might have come across in other videos as well, is processed meats such as sausages, hot dogs, and industrially processed salami. These meats are rich in saturated fats and salt. Additionally, the industrial processing adds potentially carcinogenic substances to preserve quality over the long term and maintain color. If possible, avoid frequent consumption of these preservatives. If you can't avoid them altogether, opt for a local butcher who prepares them naturally without chemical additives. The sixth food item, which has become a growing issue, especially among young people and children, is calorie consumption through beverages rather than solid food. This trend leads to continuous weight gain without feeling full. The real concern here is that it's not just the most famous and heavily marketed carbonated drinks that contribute, but also fruit juices. Some fruit juices may consist mainly of water, concentrate, and a lot of sugar. They may appear healthy because they reference fruit and the natural environment on the label. Similarly, another deceptive food item that might seem healthy and is marketed as such but doesn't promote digestive well-being is refined grains. Ancient, unprocessed whole grains, a staple of the Mediterranean diet, are very healthy. On the other hand, refined grains, often with added sugars, have become a part of many people's daily diets, mistakenly believed to be healthy. These sugars, devoid of their fiber, lead to significant glycemic spikes and the accumulation of excess fat on the liver and pancreas, resulting in impaired organ function. The seventh item this time, I apologize, is a beverage. It's a drink that many of us think we can manage in moderation because it doesn't seem harmful overall. However, in reality, eliminating it will have an immediate and incredible impact on your health. I'm talking about alcohol, which kills millions worldwide every year. Alcohol is often sold in small quantities and is frequently associated with moments of friendship, as seen in famous advertisements. Consequently, it becomes a part of the daily lives of many individuals who want to have fun or spend time with friends. This message, promoted by commercial companies, leads many of us to not be able to do without it, even in small quantities, every day. This can result in a pancreas at high risk of acute and long-term problems. The ninth type of food I strongly recommend reducing or managing better is the fats you use for frying or to enhance your recipes. For example, both butter and margarine are rich in saturated fats, and margarine can even contain trans fats, which are extremely harmful. Some studies even associate the use of trans fats with an increased risk of pancreatic cancer. It's therefore much better to replace these types of fats with healthier options that are linked to a longer life expectancy, such as olive oil. To conclude, the 10th food item I discourage, which is also supported by scientific evidence, is cheese. In general, cheeses combine salt, saturated fats, and simple sugars, creating a trio that increases a person's appetite, leading them to desire more and as a result easily gain weight and develop visceral fat with its well-known negative consequences. Unfortunately, cheese, due to its characteristics, is highly desired by many, almost like a drug. There are substances in cheese that are similar to opioids, naturally found in cow's milk to encourage the calf to keep eating and growing. However, when these substances are consumed by humans, they have similar effects. This is why dairy is one of the largest and most important industries in our country. I want to emphasize, as I did for all the other foods mentioned, that nothing catastrophic will happen if you consume these items occasionally, perhaps once a week or every now and then. However, consuming these foods daily and possibly at every meal can certainly be one of the potential causes of serious health problems. I hope that now you have a better understanding of what can harm your pancreas and what is best to reduce. If you've heard stories or testimonials of centenarians who have eaten salami, processed meats, cheese, eggs, mayonnaise, and all sorts of indulgences daily and still lived in good health, it's worth remembering that individual genetics and overall lifestyle also play significant roles in one's health. Don't fall into the notion that this is the only path to follow and the best course of action. It's likely that due to genetics, lifestyle habits, or simply eating sparingly and staying slim, some individuals can still live for many years while consuming these substances. So, there's no single food that must automatically be labeled as harmful. It's primarily the quantity and the combination of all these foods that you add to your dietary choices throughout the week. Before wrapping up, I want to emphasize that these are general recommendations and cannot be applied to your specific case. If you have specific dietary needs, please feel free to contact us, and we will do our best to connect you with the appropriate professional. Before I go, I want to express my gratitude to all my subscribers who support me every month with a small contribution. If you'd like to join them, you can click the subscribe button below. That's all for today. Goodbye and thank you.